Dollar bets. What up, everybody? This is O. We got Z.
You got him right here.
What's up, Z?
Beat the charges.
Z, I bet you're in a good mood today.
I'm in a glorious mood today.
Yup.
Yeah.
I know why, and we'll get to that a little bit later in
Yes,
the show.
we will. Yes, we will. I'm in a wonderful... It's 100 degrees here, though.
That's not what's making you happy.
No, I'm in these four walls cooling off, baby. 4 walls cooling off. I'm gonna swim after this with my belly full of raisins.
In the capital city.
Capital City, D.C. I can see the monument. Not really, but I mean, there's a monument close, I think. There's gonna be a monument to O and Z.
When you're in DC.
If you keep rampaging us with these listens and clicks and shares, there will be a monument to O and Z somewhere. Probably on the deep, dark web.
Over here in Detroit, on the other hand, you're never far from a ruin.
The ruins of Detroit.
That's right. I live in the ghetto.
You're in the 4th wave of like Detroit prominence, though, right? I mean, they got like when I visited you this past winterish, like it was like surprisingly freaking dope, man. But I mean,
it took you to like the good part of Detroit.
Well, it was one of those things. It's like you got to start somewhere. They just like there's so many fits and starts and promises, and it's like they stopped promising. They just started actually making it. It's like when like an unskilled like kid is building a block thing and he's telling his brother about it, and the brother just kicks it down. You know, and then eventually the brother just like doesn't tell his other brother, and he learns some things. They're like, what if I just try this? And then just like, you know, just quietly build my blocks, you know, like a savant. And then you got a few blocks that are dope, and then the Lions started winning, and it's like Little Caesars Arena is a thing that people don't know about because
what are the Lions in this analogy?
The Lions are like your parents like deciding to not get divorced after all or something. I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared. Speaking of not prepared, Mr. O here, this is great because I love calls like this. Hey, you've done this once, right? How do you use XYZ? Well, literally X this time, Twitter. I'm like...
Yeah, literally X.
So,
and that's the new X, not a different X.
Yeah. So tell the audience about more about your blog. I know we've dabbled in it, but like this is early on in the show. It's a great time to plug it. We're doing plugs.
We're doing plugs. All right. Allow me to plug. So yes, O has a blog.
O got a blog.
O for 4.
I love it.
Yeah. Because I'm O, and each week I write about 4 different topics.
Yeah.
So if you want to check it out, it's O for 4, O, the letter O, FOR, number 4, blog.com. O for 4 blog.com. But the reason that Z is bringing this up is Z taught me how to use the website formerly known as Twitter earlier today. Because I've never been on it, and I don't know anything about social media really.
Correct. You knew substantially less than I thought you did.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, so to compare, like...
Substantially more than I thought I did.
That I knew more?
No.
Oh.
I knew more than I thought I did.
Yeah, well, you were like, what? Oh, is that...
You thought I did.
Is that a Twitter? Is that a hashtag? Is that the Twitter? Is it called Twitter? Like, you're like, well, a hashtag is like... It was originally used to collect data, common data from Twitter, I think, unless it was used somewhere prior to that. And Twitter just became the Kleenex of hashtag, like where you just call it a Kleenex. It's a tissue. This is the fun facts for all you snotty people out there. This is barely about sports.
Personally.
What's that?
I say tissue.
You say tissue?
Yeah.
Well, you live in the ghetto, so you probably buy those puffs, like gas station puffs.
I get the Kroger brand, buddy.
Kroger Kleenex, Kroger tissues.
I get Kroger anything.
Do you get Kroger wipes?
You mean like toilet paper?
Yeah.
No.
No comment on my butt stuff.
Because the Kroger toilet paper comes in 1 ply, and fuck that.
Yeah. You know what? We might be like we might in this episode beg you to send money to our Patreon, but we are not one-ply guys. We are simply not one-ply guys, okay?
No.
Get it through your heads.
Sure the cheapest toilet paper that I buy at the supermarket has a second ply.
Exactly. There's at least 2 plies. We're maybe 1.5 ply guys, but we're not 1-ply guys. We are not 1-ply guys. And I think we just coined something because I think like we can come up with like at a later date if we feel like, if we remember it. This like athletes or teams or plays that are just simply 1-ply guys, like 1-ply play of the week or some shit, It's great. And get a toilet.
Not play of the week.
Not ply play of the week. No ply play of the week.
1-ply play of the week, which is just a bad play.
The no ply zone.
No ply zone.
So okay, that's an example of like you got to come up with it's like when you're promoting something, you're not writing a novel about your novel or a blog, you're like so I gave an example of some of the guys out there that why are they so successful? Besides once they got successful enough by being obnoxious enough or loud enough or whatever enough, catchy enough to be successful in the first place, and then they amped it up like Stephen A. Smith. Who sometimes it just amps it way down. You're like, oh my god, this guy's really reasonable and has some good takes, right? And the other times, like, not so much. And McAfee, god damn it, McAfee, he's like, he blew up, and Stephen A. Smith just turned down $9 million because he knows he can get more. So it's like, what do they do well? They're invariably themselves at all times, and they're also like. Stephen A. Smith could talk for an hour, but you can get sound bites out of that motherfucker. So it's like, what you want if you're promoting something is reduce your glorious, verbose, lovely writings or whatever you're selling or promoting into like a soundbite version of that, and just like give them a little tease. It's like you're on the side of the road. You're hitchhiking. You show a little thigh, baby. You give that thigh, and this time it's got a tat that says "Read my shit." Okay, so like read his shit. Read O's 0 for 4 blog.com.
And that is spelled OFOR, the number 4 blog.com.
Yes.
All right, are we done plugging me?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're done plugging it. Okay.
You're making me blush a little bit here.
Sports. So, Game 7, we called it. Did we call it?
We called it.
Called the shit out of that.
Rare agreement between O and Z.
Mm-hmm. Bad radio.
And even rarer that we agreed and we were both right.
We dedicated our prediction to Hawk 2. Hawk 2, bet on that thing. Game 7, what are we saying? Oilers.
I'm nervous.
Are you taking Panthers? I'll bet you $1.
I can't change my mind at this point.
Double down, triple down, quadruple down. Oilers.
I'm sticking with my Oilers. I just think they have the momentum. But, as I think we mentioned in the last episode, Detroit Red Wings, only team in Stanley Cup Finals history to blow the 3-0 lead.
Yeah, the other 3-0 ones were like.
Say Detroit can't have nice things, so no. I just feel like to spit in Detroit's face, Florida has to win this and keep the Red Wings as the only team to blow the 3-0 lead in the Cup Finals.
That's not gonna happen. Detroit's gonna get some company with Southern Florida hockey. The last 10 years of hockey mecca.
Wins, anybody who's alive from those 1942 Red Wings is gonna be popping champagne.
Yeah, they're popping Geritol, but it's gonna be dope as fuck.
Like Mercury Morris of the 71 Dolphins.
He's just gonna be last man popping, baby.
I don't know if there's any survivors from that 42 team. That's 80 years ago.
I mean, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still trotting out World War II veterans. I mean, There's got to be like a hockey player. They're probably in better shape than somebody that once like dominated for his country. Like, because they weren't doing it at 38, were they? Like hockey players back then, like Gordie Howe was playing like 57 years old or some shit.
Yeah, but that was into the 80s.
I know, that's insane, right? He played like a long time. Some of those dudes, even today, like still play like a long ass time. So it's like, yo, when people came back from World War II, they're like, I'm moving precisely 20 miles from a major city, and I'm parking here, and life is better because I don't have to do that again. And they weren't. This was before major gyms. You know this as a fitness man. Like they weren't. They mowed their lawns. They played catch with the. Maybe they had a beer league softball or something, or baseball or whatever it was back then, in the before times. And you know, it was all good. So the hockey players, we're gonna say on average, were more fit than people that fought in the war later by the same age, by the age of like 34, right? So we're extrapolating those numbers to indicate that if there were still veterans that are alive, and God bless your service, you know, freaking awesome. I'm sorry if you're listening, you know, in a part of the world that was an Axis power, but you lost, motherfucker, and get over it. Don't deny it and get over it. But those hockey players are probably, you know, on average, they're professional athletes. So it's like they, you know, even in the 40s, I mean, they only had to beat 5 other teams, but they still had to beat their asses, like, with fighting and, like, skating and, like, winning. And it was great. So, yeah. Edmonton in 7, we're saying, right? But it'll be tough. It's
gonna be a tight game.
You know, the U.S. and Canada are inexorably linked, not just by a border or by 2 teams fighting it out for the cup in Game 7 from non-opposing nations, but they also share the same word of their anthem and the first opening word, and it's, what is it? You should know.
Yeah.
It's O.
I know it. I just never realized that before you said that.
It's O, baby.
Oh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But you know what? I'll say it again. Canada's got the better anthem.
Canada has number 2 anthem, probably, if I had to just ballpark it. Soviet Union and then Russia had the best one. Number 1. Goat anthem. It's just ridiculous.
Well, I don't know if you can say that in these times.
Oh, it's an anthem. See, I can separate the art from the artist, right? Dude, he was probably commissioned to write that at gunpoint.
Trigger some people.
Okay, you know, have you ever seen the movie Silver? I always said Silverchair. Great song they had. Silver Fish or something. Swordfish. That's the one. You ever seen that? Travolta, and then Halle Berry's like blowing Hugh Jackman while he has to crack a code or something. And so if he gets it wrong or something, he dies. I mean, it's just like, that's probably how the guy wrote the Soviet anthem, and that's why it's so good. Except instead of a Halle Berry or an attractive person of a Soviet persuasion, it was machine gun to his head, and it was like, do it. It's like, da da dun 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 dun, and they're like, oh my god, that's really good. Thank you.
We have just lost our Ukrainian listeners.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're real busy. You know, like looking up NHL fucking takes, Hawk 2 videos and NHL takes, and what else we're gonna talk about. They're learning how to use Twitter though. X, formerly known as Twitter, from me, coaching you. Me watching you, watching me.
All right, so we're agreeing. We're both going with Edmonton.
Yes.
All right. I think there's nothing more to say about that.
No.
But let's hope that they can drag that Stanley Cup back to Alberta. That's
Drag it back.
For.
Drag it back, baby.
But back to something you said a few minutes ago about the Axis powers losing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching the match right now between Switzerland and Germany. And Germany is losing this game. This is the 3rd group game. Winner will win the group. Both these teams are pretty much guaranteed of moving on to the next stage, though.
Okay.
But yes, I'm happy to see Switzerland taking this.
So,
Switzerland is a beautiful, beautiful country. If you've never been, you should go.
I have not been. I'm going to venture to say a lot of our listeners have not been to Switzerland.
Wow.
I'm going to go on. I have seen the geographic locations of the listens. So, someone in Australia. Shout out to Australia, I think part of Australia. I got to look it up again. South Wales, I think. New South Wales.
New South Wales. We got an Aussie listener?
We do. Oi, oi, oi. Aussie, oi, oi, oi.
Alright. See if we can get a Vegemite sponsor.
We're going to get a Vegemite sponsor and a gambling sponsor and, like, an NA beer sponsor and, like, the Power Glove from Nintendo is going to make a comeback with
No, it's not.
I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Yeah, no, it's funny that Germany is playing. I mean, you mentioned the Axis powers, and they're playing Switzerland, who like was famous for harboring certain items, and bank accounts, yeah, and gold and whatever.
You can say bank accounts.
Yeah, we can say bank accounts. And the best part though was like they should be like, oh, and by the way, we're not giving that other stuff back that we still had. I'm assuming they still have some stuff there,
Yeah.
And I think that they're gonna be like. We can beat you in soccer. We are not afraid of you anymore. And bam, that's how it goes. So Euro, to recap the listeners, you have Portugal and Spain.
I have Portugal and Spain. Yes,
and I have
Bolivian teams, and you had
France,
Netherlands and France.
France and the Netherlands
just played each other to a 0-0 draw.
They're saving their wads, man.
Maybe that's it.
International tournaments are well known for wad saving.
In that game because he's got a broken nose from the first game.
Yeah, you can play with a broken nose. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Be careful going in for headers and things like that.
Just don't go in for headers.
You can't not go in for a header. Not when you're a striker.
Just push the people in the back and then wait for the ball to land and kick it.
Nah.
Okay, so that.
I'm trying to test him out with a mask before game and.
Dude, a masked Frenchman. A masked Frenchman.
Absolutely not play with a busted nose. You will bust that thing right back again.
I still think they got enough. I also totally forgot about that, so that's on me. I don't think either of us are gonna win. I think there's some dark horse out there that'll do it. Like Italy was kind of a dark horse last time, right? 2021.
Yeah.
So there you go.
My dark horse is gonna be Slovakia.
Slovakia, you will celebrate on the Mount. Mount Raisa.
Should we do some accounting while we're here?
Accounting and then betting and then talking about the Copa America very quickly.
Alright, so we only made one bet on our last show.
Mm-hmm.
We bet on the match between Romania and Belgium.
Correct.
Belgium, who was the favorite early to come out of that group as the winner, ended up losing their first match to
Slovakia.
So I was thinking Belgium was going to lay another egg. I predicted that Romania was going to get the draw against them.
Correct.
And you said, no, Belgium would win. And Z, you have won another $1.
I want a buck on the Belgians that suck.
So let me pay Z.
Yeah.
Here we go.
The so-called golden generation finally came through for me.
There we go. Tell me when you get this.
You know the Belgian, like the golden generation. I got it.
What does it say?
Ring my Belgium. The boomer generation in America is equivalent of the Belgian golden generation, where it's just all hype and then they just like didn't do anything.
Yeah. All right. Should we bring this football conversation back stateside?
Well, it's kind of stateside. I mean, the games are in the States, yeah?
The games are in the States, but we're not talking about the Euro anymore. We're going to talk about the Copa America.
It's pronounced Copa America. Ha, ha, ha.
All right, so big match tonight. The USA plays their first group game.
Yeah.
And they are playing the South American nation of Bolivia.
Bolivia, yes.
Let me tell you, to all y'all who have never been to Bolivia, Bolivia is a beautiful country.
I mean, that I 100% on faith believe you, because he's a world traveler, ladies, and men, if you want to admire him from afar, that's cool too.
Down there, what year was this? I think it was 2010. Yeah, because it was during the World Cup. I did a trip of Peru and Bolivia.
Oh.
And Peru was like what I was excited for because I knew things in Peru.
Yeah.
And I just went to Bolivia because Bolivia was right over the border from the part of Peru I was going to be in. And then Bolivia just absolutely blew my mind. Just absolutely beautiful topography, incredible mountains, awesome cities, like nightlife that I couldn't believe in those cities. Like, go to Bolivia.
Go to Bolivia, motherfucker. Bolivian beats.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Bolivian beats and Bolivian eats on Bolivian streets.
What Bolivia is not known for
soccer.
Their soccer team.
Well, interesting. Real quick on Bolivia. Do you think that they're not as well known for certain things because people don't like flee Bolivia?
People don't what?
They don't like just flee Bolivia. Like, are they like, wow, this is awesome, I'm definitely staying here? I think so. I think so.
I don't know.
I mean, that would be my guess. I've heard about a lot of places in the world. A lot of places. Taking a lot of data in this brain of mine, this weird brain of mine, and I think that Bolivians probably are like, Bolivia's dope. We're going to get our asses kicked by USA in soccer, but we're an awesome country. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Go to Bolivia. And 3-1 US over Bolivia is my prediction.
I was going to say 2-0.
Very similar. Very similar.
I don't think the U.S. has the firepower for 3 goals.
I can't talk you into a Bolivian draw bet.
Definitely cannot.
But you've been there.
What I'd like to do is prop bet.
Would you win or draw them versus, U.S. straight up?
No. Here's what I want to bet on this game.
Okay.
I'm going to say Christian Pulisic does not score one of the U.S.'s 2 goals, or however number of goals they end up scoring.
Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. He been struggling, right?
What's that?
Hadn't he been struggling?
No, he's the dude.
He's what?
He's the fucking man on this team.
I mean, it hasn't started yet, so I wouldn't say that.
No, but he's been the man on this team, and he had a really good season for his club team this past season over in Milan.
Look, I am still haunted by Bradley and his father, so
he's looked good in some of the friendlies they've had, but I don't think he'll score a goal tonight.
I mean, I'm definitely siding with that. Mostly because it's freaking soccer, and when in doubt, take the person to not score. Messi doesn't always score, but he's amazing. Someone else will score because of something he did, whether it's an assist or he it's like the old Jordan or Kobe defense where you got 7 eyes on him, and one guy gets slightly open and then makes that second extra pass. So Jordan or Kobe or Messi are getting that hockey assist, right? I think that could happen for, maybe Pulisic. I don't know though. Who's our other? They changed the roster a bit, right? I mean, I watched the Gold Cup and the World Cup, so I haven't seen. I haven't got to see his play since then because I don't watch friendlies. I'm like, it's friendly. I want war. I want battles. I want international soccer desecration. I want to be horribly disappointed and reminded why I was not really a soccer guy when I was younger. But I love the upswing of let's do this USA, all right, because we never had that in basketball. We just dominated. You were like 12 and I was like 10 or something for the 92 Dream Team. Yeah. I was like 9 and 10 because it was summer, so we had similar birthdays. What should we call it? When they beat Angola, when they were up 50 something at halftime, I was like, yeah, let's go. And then I quickly was like, this is lame. These guys suck. You knew how good the U.S. players were, and you knew the fucking massive gap in the other countries because the European countries most of them weren't playing basketball, and the ones that were like recently liberated from the Soviet Union. So they were good, but they were a little top heavy, those squads, you know? So I don't know, it's like international like soccer makes me think about history. And I like things that make me think about intellectual things because it gives me an excuse to watch sports and not be like, I'm a meathead. No offense to anyone listening. You're not a meathead. You're listening to us. We have no meat in our heads at all. Very little brains, but no meat. So U.S. by 2 goals is what we're saying. So if we were prop betting, we would take U.S. minus 1.5, essentially. But if you were like, I'm taking Bolivia plus 1.5, I might even like wuss out on that, you know, because like I could see 1-0, 2-1 though, or even 0-0. I just don't think we're gonna lose. Like, I don't think we're gonna lose that to them.
How about this? I'm gonna say.
What's that?
I'm coming up with a prop bet for us.
Oh, okay.
Bolivia will have 4 yellow cards in this game.
Why? I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna say so. Should we say 4.5 or 3.5?
I'm taking over 3.5.
I'll go under. Or are they jerks or something? You were just praising Bolivia.
Talking about the country. They're just not a good soccer team. I think they're gonna get flustered with the U.S.
I mean, we got some speed.
4 yellows.
4 yellows? Alright, I'll fucking lose $1 over that. I don't care.
Alright.
I'm so high on raisins right now, I don't give a shit.
Dehydrated grapes.
Yeah, they're grapes they're like vasectomy grapes.
Dude, that's how desperate we are to make a bet for our listeners, that we are betting over under on the amount of yellow cards.
We're betting on Bolivian yellow cards while I'm like hammering vasectomy grapes.
Real quick.
Yeah, should we stop?
What's that?
Should this be enough right now?
You talking about this episode?
Yeah.
Are you trying to cut us off?
I didn't pay my bill enough. Like, if I got more than 10 more seconds.
Alright, go pay the bill.
Okay, I paid my bill. $dollar bets podcast at gmail.com. Bye.